Alright. Episode Scottie Pippen of the God is Dope podcast. I'm Sharod.
I'm Jay.
Torey.
Today we're gonna have a little debate about ebooks and courses and stuff like that, because I get a lot of requests from followers and viewers and customers about when are you gonna drop an ebook? We want to learn. You need to do some courses. You need to do this. You need to do that. And it's a certain stigma around like ebooks that kind of make me like reluctant to like do one, because there's so many people that's doing them that's kind of like, in my opinion, are underqualified, and I don't want to be looked at as that, even though I have a track record that shows I am qualified, and we talk about it all the time. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Torey is, I think you for the ebooks, right?
Right.
You for the ebooks? You against, right?
Not against it. I don't particularly like the people that, like you said, do the ebook stuff and aren't really about it.
Yeah.
I think that there's a way to do it tastefully, and there's a way where
Because I'm in the process of doing one, and I'm trying to see if I want to just give it away and keep that leverage, or if I want to actually sell it.
Sell it.
Sell it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would
it's up
say.
to you. Because, I mean, as far as giving away, we do this.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Like, if you truly watch every single episode, like from like 2018 to now, there's a lot of the content that you would put in an ebook
For free.
I think obviously like it's like organized if it's in a book format and it's like lecture by lecture, but it's just a matter of like you putting in the time to watch it. But then at that point, it's like me personally, I would rather pay.
Okay, so
Then
so
have
that could be my
the
pitch.
time.
That could be
Like,
my angle. It's like, look, I've given all this stuff away for free already.
Yeah.
But if you want it organized, or if you want it, you want to support or whatever. Like if I've ever give you some advice for free, and you're like, okay, let me buy this $9.99 ebook or a course or visual course. I'm just trying to. Really, I'm just stuck on like, how do I market this?
Well, if you're gonna do it $9.99,
And like, how do I market it without sounding like everybody else?
yeah, that's the hard part. But because like everyone runs ads on it, everyone does I'll teach you how I made this, and this is my library and all the books I read and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen those
I
ads.
think it's just more so like, about his dope, and for like, it's yes. For a whole lot of people, it's just like, you want to see how we did it. It's no like.
I mean, there's no
Because
way
most-
around sounding like you're trying to sell them a course, because it is what it is. It's like in the nature of it. Like, regardless of whoever it is, it's going to sound like they're trying to sell you.
I would say for most people who doing them, I feel like the first time you're hearing about them is when they doing the course. So it's like you gotta kind of like research and see like what their business actually is, and they may actually be doing legit business. But for us, it's like, God is dope is God is dope. Like, I feel like people were aware of, like, they know it enough to just.
I'm trying to see like, how do I? Because I'm trying to see like, how do I sell it for like $1?
Oh, you want to do that?
The difference is, I mean, $1, $10. Like, I think it's all low price. Like, it's gonna, like, no one's gonna bat an eye at $10. I think, like, courses are expensive. Like, people spend thousands of dollars on courses. So you doing it at $10 is the equivalent to free. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be a huge difference between $10 and free as far as people that are actually going to interact with it the one time and then follow through with any other like upsell materials or like in-person conferences and stuff like that, where like you might get overall more users doing free than a paid thing, but the quality of the user, it's like, I bought it and I never even listened to it, or like I downloaded it and never read it, or like
Yeah.
you might get more downloads, but not actual like interactions that can lead to more value adds later on.
Yeah.
If that's just my thought on like free versus a low cost paid thing.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm trying to think of anybody that I know that's doing it. Because I know it's a lot of people that do it and it's worth it. Have you ever read one or downloaded a book that was like, dang, this was well worth what I paid?
I already knew most of the stuff, but if I didn't know anything, I'd say yeah. Like, I bought stuff just to see how they doing it.
Or how they did it, not necessarily to learn.
Right. I mean, at this point, like, we bought a couple over the last year. They were all like good information, but it's like we already know it now. So, but like I'm looking at it, it's like if I bought that when I was 16 when I first started my brand, it's like yeah, that was definitely.
Or any of them? Did any of them have audio, visual, and book format?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw one where, like I said, Jen does them for her job. Like she is required to watch and follow along with certain courses to stay up to date with stuff. And the one was specifically about email marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And like Torey, I didn't learn anything new. I thought it was well put together, and if I knew nothing about email marketing, it'd be a good course. But just because I've already done it, I wasn't like, oh, that's useful. But it's a good summary of stuff. So like, it just depends on where you're at in your journey, whether or not you need certain guidance. Because it's like certain things, like just for example, like a company that may be along like not as far along in their journey as we are, but pretty far, would probably not benefit too much from certain courses. But like kind of like the coaching that they need is more like in the moment, like I would do it this way, like more consulting coaching rather than like this is how you do a general thing.
Yeah. I would be interested to see how our viewers felt about courses and stuff like that, because the information we do give is very valuable, and it's up until I dropped this book, it has been free, and it would be interesting to see how many people bite on it, especially like with us being able to run ads and stuff like that, which is something we should start doing on these YouTube videos too. Just put together like the best clip, like something that's super motivational. Or I seen like the 71,000 shirts in 10 hours got a lot of views, like like twice the amount of views as we normally get. So I think anytime it's some unbelievable numbers or something like that, it's very attractive to people that that tune into the show. All right, cool. That was our little 8 minutes about the ebooks. What we have for today? Okay, so yesterday we dropped last night we dropped 4 shirts for $14.99, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get rid of a lot of the stuff that's laying around in the factory, whether it's old stuff that we might have bought and didn't, just been sitting around based off our new system of dropping stuff, and we're trying to get rid of a lot of it so we can move on to this new system of keeping the core and then just dropping these hit shirts every week or every other week. We thought it would go crazy, first night, and I think we got 17,000 bundles, right?
That was what we started with, yeah.
How many did we sell over between last night and this morning?
$3,200.
3,200. Okay. We're not running ads on none of that.
We talked about you posting it and then doing the ads off of that. But yesterday we did 67,000, and today we're at 31,000. So far we've just done one email today, and then there's supposed to be a text message at 6.
All right. And we talked on the phone last night about different hypotheses as to why it didn't work. And one of the things I came up with was, in a way, they got this same deal last week, but were able to pick the shirts.
$5 off, but yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like last week we did the $4.99 sale for everything, and it's like, all right, for an extra $5, I can actually pick the shirts that I want, opposed to not knowing what they sending me.
Right.
So that could have been something that that played a role in, you know,
Yeah.
why it didn't do as well as we thought. Now, if we did it a week from now, it might have worked better. But just coming off of last week, everything $4.99, and then coming back saying,
And that started Thursday. So a lot of them people either just getting their stuff or
oh, it started Thursday?
last Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a week.
Yeah.
So they don't even, most of them probably don't even have their stuff.
Yeah, I think we could have maybe done a better job on our end about like how we're marketing it, because I mean obviously the simple way is low price point, you get a good deal on these shirts, but we, you know, it's in the product description, but we didn't really like create content around it in the idea that a lot of these shirts are like sold out stuff that's sought after. Or I think maybe if we took some time to do like an ad around it where it's like, you know, this is your chance. This is your one chance to get X, Y, or Z that you might have missed out on earlier on in the year, and like explaining like what really is the possibilities of the mystery stuff. I think we did a better job of that the first time we ever did mystery, where it was kind of like a game, like you don't know what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is that, but talking about that, because the marketing for this was just pretty straightforward. It's just 4 mystery shirts for $14.99. So it's more so on like the value rather than like the price value rather than like the item value, like where I missed out on this.
Yeah.
But yeah, something we could think about.
All right, so after tonight's text, because we emailed and text last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
We emailed this morning, we texted tonight. We're not sending another one, right? I thought we're not doing the third one out.
Well, yesterday we talked about that was the strategy, was the last chance was on the 3rd day, but it would just...
We probably can do a last chance, like, Instagram post or something. I don't think I want to email and text again if it's not, like, it made sense to do it the first time because it was, you know, the $5 thing, it went so well. The first, second, and, you know, the 3rd day was cool, but I think an Instagram post would be cool, and then we follow up. The next text we send should probably be the new Black Women Matter. And just, you know, hopefully, you know, if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever we do it, let's just make sure as many orders are already out. You know, so people can have their stuff, and it's not, we're not wondering, like, if it didn't do well, we're not wondering, is it because people didn't get their stuff? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's how far are we on pace for the goal for the month?
Yeah, if we didn't do anything today, we'd still be 22,000 ahead. So
if we do 58 today, we on pace.
Yeah.
For the 80 a day.
Well,
no, like
if
I'm
we don't
saying
do
we're
nothing,
ahead.
We
Like
ahead. Still.
if today did 0, tomorrow would be 22 ahead. So like we'd have to do 58
Dang, so
tomorrow.
those first few days was crazy, man.
Yeah, but we're that lead's kind of shortening up on us. by Monday it might be right on it,
Yeah.
close to it.
There's nothing we can do with ads.
We can spend more money and test different things with ads, but
Okay, that's another thing I was looking at, right? With the sheet that Charlie gives me. I know, Torey, you go back and forth, and y'all too. It's just like, if we making money, why not keep spending it on ads, right?
Right.
yeah.
My thing is, if we spend more money on the ads, is it eventually gonna hit like a 1.5 or a 2 or, you know what I'm saying? Like a 3 ROAS. Looking at the sheet, I should have brought it in. I think I don't know exactly what the ROAS was one day, but I think we made like 18 grand profit. And I just don't know if the situation is if we double or triple that.
My argument with that is, I think if you're profitable and you have like a time constraint goal, you should just keep scaling it and keep spending money because you're profitable. And in that profitability, you're also acquiring customers and showing your ads to new customers to then retarget again. So the argument being like, I don't want to spend, let's say, 9 grand at 3 ROAS. I'd rather scale that down to a 2.5 and get a 6 ROAS or a 5 ROAS. Seems to me like it doesn't make sense when, although the ROAS isn't as high, if the profit bottom line is more, you may be needing to spend more because that ROAS shrinks as you increase the scale. But like, if I can spend 9 grand to profit, like making up numbers, if I can spend 9 grand to profit 5 grand at X ROAS, 3, right? Making up numbers. At a 5 ROAS, 6 ROAS, spending $1,000, if I profit $2,000, the ROAS number looks prettier, but I'm not actually making more money. Sure, I'm risking more money in the sense that I'm spending it, but it's not real risk because it's subsidized in the profit.
Well, my only thing with that is, if it's a fixed budget for the month, and the money that we wasting, not wasting, the money that we spending on ads during the times that we're missing, if we create a hit and put.
But what? Who's the fixed budget is whatever we say. Like, if it's a hit, are we really going to stop spending money because we're like, the budget, the money's coming in, so we're going to keep spending more and more and more until we break the factory system, and then it's like we have to stop. Because with the time constraint and fixed budget, it's like if I don't spend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in the hopes of Friday I'll have a hit, and then I'll be able to spend everything I saved. It's like, yes, like you can think of it that way, but I feel that you're missing out on even if I spent more but made even a little bit more, like let's say is only you spend twice as much but you only make $1,000 more profit. But to you those numbers aren't like ideal enough to warrant spending twice as much. But that $1,000 in those gap days adds up over the month, and it could be like 20 gap days, and now you could have made $20,000 extra revenue, but you would prefer to have a ROAS number that's appealing.
Well, I mean,
where it's I'm worried more so about the profit, and I'm not saying me or you, I'm saying the thought process.
Not necessarily the profit, but the return, not the profit.
Well, no, the profit. Well, in order to increase the profit number, the return number has to increase. But yeah, when we're looking at the sheets, it's and at certain points, it does make sense to scale back and regroup and figure it out. And I think what we did, most recently, did make sense because we didn't really have anything to work with. But now that we're trying different things and we have a pack, I'd rather spend 9 grand and make 5 and the number 5 profit and the number look not that great, rather than spend $1,000, have an awesome number but only make $4,000.
Another thing that was on the sheet, well, the separate sheet was customer acquisition. Right? Even though we spent way more money. We had like, was it double or triple?
Yeah, it was double the customers.
Double the amount of customers. So.
And that's like back in numbers that you can only forecast. You can't really count on them up front. But yeah, it was like we spent more money, and the numbers, like the customer acquisition cost increases within that. It does, but then it's like it is just ultimately more people, and then those people have a certain lifetime value we can attribute to that. So that's just like ways to look at how you're budgeting. Like if it is a strict budget where it's like we literally cannot spend more money because there's no money to spend, I think that's a valid way to look at it, where it's like I'd rather save till we have the hit. But in other situations where it's like we know we're gonna spend the money when it's time to spend it because the money, like, it pays for itself. Like what we just subtract it, and we're in good financial standing. We don't have debts. We all it's all subsidized in its own. Now, if you're like depending on the money coming in to then pay off some stuff you owe in inventory, and like if your books are all messed up, that's where like obviously you have to be very careful. But in our standing, I think it's like, is it profitable? Okay.
It reminded me what we used to say with moving the church in person. It's like you could sell it for $7, cool. Cause if you gotta sell it for $5, you make $1, cool. It's like if we getting the brand out there more, like new customers getting acquired, and we actually making money off of it. Like it's not even a break even or a loss. It's like it's gonna be a profit. So that's how I kind of look at it. It's like,
so if we think of it from that perspective, then we probably won't have a month where we missed the goal.
no, we'll never miss
No,
it.
because it's just you just spend money. Like it's gonna. It's hard. It's like it feels crazy, but it's like that's how you get to these companies that have like millions in budget on like. It's like we're gonna spend it because we have, like, every day we don't spend it, we're missing out. Like we could have been
more customers.
Yeah, we could have been ahead. It's like trying to, like, I don't know. It's like running uphill, but like eventually that hill evens out, and then you have a hit and you can run fast. But then either way, like as long as we're making progress, it's progress. We're pulling back out of certain things, and that's like, I mean, it's like just a variation of discussions we've had in the past on like spend on Snap and spend on this, and we don't really know the exact attribution to it, but it's like we know that we're getting customers from it. So even if it's not the best result, we should spend there. But it's a lot, a lot to take in, especially when we get to like budgets our size.
I mean,
it's not a little bit of money.
I think a lot of my thing is I don't want, marketing to get content with 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? When I know we can do better. So that plays a factor in my mind as well, where it's like, oh, he's just satisfied with a 3 or 4, cool. So it's like
because then it sets the precedent, but
I guess that has a lot to do with it too. When it's like, nah, I know we can do better than that. If the creative is better, or if the copy is better, or if the targeting is better, we can probably double that ROAS or add it up.
Where we're at now, like the targeting's not going to get better. Like we're doing, like it's just like.
No, I'm just saying stuff.
We saw the biggest jump with like like when we had the product and the creative was crazy, and like something there like clicked with Facebook. It's almost like because it felt like it was killing, like it was doing so good, and then we tried a similar thing with the same audiences. Like we've been through it and checked, like it's the same strategy, same thing, and like
I mean, like I said, man, the only thing that changes it is the obvious holiday.
Yeah.
And price point. So had we done the price and it still didn't work, then we would know for a fact it's.
I hate the what ifs.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But no, I mean.
All right, so I don't know. Let me think about that. Spending more money.
I think it like needs to be managed in like a thoughtful way. It's not just like, cool, throw up $10,000 on whatever because we want to show it to people. But like,
it's just like throwing up $10,000 and we made $33,000 that day.
I would just look at like, okay, but then compare that to throwing up $1,000 and making X, and then which one did you make more money on? Like,
what was the profit for that day? Is it? I gotta go look on the sheet.
I don't have it on this one. On this phone.
But we can. You got it on that?
I'm trying to look for it.
Yeah, I just.
I get where you're coming from. It's just like having it like, and it's not more so like dependent on that one day, but just like other day. Like it makes me feel like on other days where things are going well, where like we limit ourselves, like we should have spent way more, rather than like spending less in this instance. It's like just like in the past when we've had a fire like moment, it's like we just should have kept going. But then, you know, we reached the walls with limitations on fulfillment and stuff. So it all.
I mean, not only that with fulfillment, it's just like at a certain point, whether we spend 50 grand in one day or we spend 50 grand over the course of 5 days, those same people that it's gonna show to, it gotta, you know, like you said, it's gonna reach this limit of people that's probably gonna buy it, right?
If it's the same product,
Yeah.
it's a different product.
Yeah, that's like the thoughtful part of it comes in. It's like showing people different offers. Yeah, and I mean something we like don't talk about a lot, but I guess has gone kind of as the obvious is like we've only advertised the U.S. So it's like we are constricted to amount of people in the U.S. that fall into this niche, and that can create a like kind of like a bubble in its own. But yeah, so the days in reference are Tuesday versus Wednesday. On Tuesday, we spent $7,854, and the profit on Tuesday was the revenue on Tuesday was $25,432. So that was 2.98 blended ROAS. On Wednesday, we spent $1,639, and the revenue was $10,672. That was a 4.6. So not even that great still, but a 3 to a 4.6 difference, where the profit on Tuesday was, after like all expenses, like bottom line profit, was $3,300, and the profit Wednesday is like $1,500. So it's like you spend, what's that, 4 times more to make twice as much more profit. Like you're having to spend much more, but then the bottom line is what I'm looking at, where it's like we did make more money. I think you operate at a loss and you mess it up if you like you're spending so much more, but then people aren't actually purchasing, and then you're just losing money. But then that's like the tangible dollar amount difference, and then the customer difference was I think it was like 200 customers versus like 450 customers acquired.
Right.
Like new customers never purchased on Goddess Dope. So that's like, you know, if you attribute that each customer has an average order value of $25, and we know that within a week those 450 customers should purchase again, there's a 70% chance of that, then that adds like a little more incentive. That's like the marketing just acquires a customer there.
I mean, it's just no guaranteed way to say, all right, if this stays at a 3 ROAS.
No, there's no guarantee.
Then, you know, once it gets to 1.2, it's just like, it don't make sense with our price points.
No, yeah, definitely not. You have to be, especially with this, like with the low price point game, you have to be super conscious of where you break even at, and like have your numbers in line, because then you'll think you're making money and you're not. You're losing money every day. So yeah, we've seen that for sure. In other people's like brands, especially with like the low cost game, because you don't have room to mess up. Like it's like you have like $2 to $3 to acquire like a customer with them buying one shirt, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously you win with more shirts.
All right. Something to think about. Episode 33, Goddess Dope Podcast. We out.